The Von Hagen estate. The usual oriental incense had been removed from the Von Hagen estate today. Instead, the air is filled with the fresh smell of plants. Smiling, Mr. Wei explains why as he ushers you into the living room.
포도의 건강을 우려한 작은 도련님께서 한동안 향로를 사용하지 말라고 하셨습니다. 어젯밤 늦게 주무시는 바람에 아직 안 일어나셨을 텐데 변호사님도 어제 상황이 신경 쓰이실 테니 바로 모셔오겠습니다.
No need, Mr. Wei. I'll wake him up myself. After greeting Mr. Wei, you walk down the familiar corridor to Marius' bedroom. As the door opens, your eyes widen and you are shocked by what you see. The windows in the bedroom are completely open, the morning sunlight pouring into the whole room. Marius is sleeping soundly in the sunlight with a pillow in his arms while a grey cat named Barry is asleep beside him. This strange sight leaves you speechless and stunned for a moment. The person and cat in bed are not only lying in similar positions, but they even have the same hair color. The morning light blankets them in a layer of golden velvet, creating a sense of unity and harmony. What in the world happened last night after I left? At this moment, Marius rubs against the pillow in his arms, showing a satisfied smile. Judging by his expression, he must be having a beautiful dream. Barry suddenly cries out in his sleep. You look at the grey-blue cat, stunned for a moment. He seems to be dreaming of something delicious, grasping tightly at the toy in his paws while kicking it with his powerful hind legs. The fish toy is tight within his grip. It's only been one night and Barry already has a fish toy. It seems like Marius is taking really good care of Barry. Even though they were clearly incompatible with each other last night. What you see reminds you of the scene yesterday when you met Barry. Villa neighborhood. Yesterday, you came to see Marius to confirm the details of a Pax investment contract. Vincent left to park the car after dropping you at the entrance of the Von Hagen estate. As soon as you got out of the car, you had a strange feeling. It feels like someone is staring at me. Is the villa district not safe? You shudder and reach into your handbag for the self-defense weapon you always carry. Having prepared yourself, you take a deep breath and spin around. Huh? Your hands slowly relax as you stare at the furry creature in front of you. A grey-blue cat sits quietly behind you, looking at you with amused purple eyes. What a rare eye color. I wonder what kind of cat it is. What's it? What is it doing here? You ponder these questions until you hear faint footsteps behind you.
와 있었으면서 왜 말도 안 해줘요? 시온 씨 전화가 아니었으면 누나를 한참 뒤에나 볼 뻔했잖아요.
I was about to go inside, but Marius takes your handbag and is about to head in. Hearing that, he stops and looks at you questionably. Marius, did you get a cat?
고양이요? 아니요. 근데 누나가 좋다면 한 마리 입양하죠 뭐.
Marius stops walking and looks at you with anticipation. No, that's not what I mean. Here, look! Feeling that you can't explain it properly, you decide to show Marius instead and point in the direction of the cat. Huh? You and Marius see nothing except the green plants in front of the house.
왜 그래요? 여기 뭐 있었어요?
I just saw a cat with purple eyes, so I thought it belonged to someone here at the estate.
우리 집에 고양이 키우는 사람은 없는데? 집사 아저씨도 별 말씀 없으셨고요.
Yeah, I guess. I've been here so many times, but I've never seen a cat before.
뭐, 다른 사람이 키우는 고양이였겠죠.
You scan your surroundings, but there is no cat inside. It's gone. Maybe it went home. Without investigating the cat any further, you follow Marius into the estate. Upon entering the living room, you and Marius are drawn to a fluffy ball on the sofa.
눈이 보라색인 고양이라는 게 이 녀석이에요?
The cat that just disappeared is lying on the sofa, squinting its eyes. You and Marius exchange a look and nod. When the cat sees you two standing still, it glances to the side and waves its long tail casually. It seems to be greeting us.
나도 봤어요.
이건... 작은 도련님, 밖으로 내보낼까요?
Just as the situation comes to a stalemate, Vincent appears out of nowhere.
네, 고양이 안 다치게 조심해줘요.
알겠습니다.
Vincent puts on gloves and quietly approaches the cat from behind, but the cat manages to deftly avoid every capture attempt. Perhaps afraid that he'll hurt the cat, Vincent's actions remain gentle, but this means that the cat can escape with all its might. The cat turns nimbly on the wall, launching off toward Marius.
도련님!
At Vincent's cry, the cat spreads its leg wide open and pounces on Marius' face. Its soft, fluffy belly lands directly on Marius' face, causing him to fall backward after being caught off guard. Watch out! You reach out to catch his fall, and Marius staggers backward before pulling your arms to stabilize himself. Then Marius grabs the scruff of the cat's neck, plucking it from his face.
이 녀석이 내 목숨까지 노리겠다는 거지?
Grabbed by the scruff of his neck, the cat suddenly behaves and stares at Marius innocently.
변명은 됐어. 방금 네가 한 짓은 다들 봤다고. 우리 변호사님도 있으니까 널 이 자리에서 바로 체포할 수도 있어.
Listening to him reason with the cat, you try to suppress laughter while removing the cat fur stuck to his face. Are you hurt?
다치진 않고 고양이 털을 잔뜩 먹었어요.
The cat wears his tail, its beautiful berry-like eyes watery and innocent. As if to say, how could a cat have ill intentions?
도련님이 무사하셔서 다행이에요. 고양이는 맡겨주세요.
Before Vincent can finish, Marius has already turned his head and passed the cat to Vincent, not willing to look at it anymore.
얼른 주인 찾아서 보내버려요. 최대한 빨리요.
However, things didn't go as Marius planned. Despite asking around the neighborhood, Vincent couldn't find its owner, so you figured the cat didn't live nearby. Marius instructed Mr. Wee to expand the search area while the cat stayed at the Von Hagen estate in the meantime. For convenience, you and Marius named the cat Barry, a code name for its stay at the Von Hagen estate. Thankfully, the Pharaoh Hound hasn't been at the Von Hagen estate these few days, or else things would have been more difficult. Looking at the sleeping Barry, you feel an uncontrollable urge to walk over and rub his belly. Barry rolls over, purring. Upon seeing his enjoyment, you slowly move your hand up to scratch his chin.
왜 포도만 예뻐하고 난 신경도 안 써요?
Marius exclaims in a voice that interrupts your thoughts. You look up to see a pair of eyes full of grievance.
누나, 다 큰 어른이 앞에서 자고 있는데 뭐 하고 싶은 거 없었어요?
Marius' angry tone amuses you, and you can't help but touch his soft hair. Marius, you're not jealous of a cat, are you?
누가 고양이한테 질투했다고 그래요. 내 말은 누나도 와서 포도 돌보는 것 좀 도와달란 거였죠. 나 혼자서는 잘 볼 자신이 없단 말이에요.
Marius grabs your hand, pulling you onto the bed. Wait, Barry! At this point, Barry has already been awakened by your movements. He gracefully sits there off to the side, watching you two silently.
너
Before waiting for Marius to finish, Barry yawns, like a bad student who doesn't listen in class.
얘가 이런다니까요.
Fine, fine, I'll take care of Barry with you while he's at the Van Hagen estate. So, can you get up now?
그럼요. 누나 말 들어야죠.
Marius' bedroom. Marius, did you find Barry? No, where'd that little thing go? Barry went missing an hour ago. You, Marius, and the staff from the Von Hagen estate have already turned the villa upside down, but no one was able to find Barry. Could it be that Barry left? Just as you start to feel sad, you hear movement from the nearby closet. Marius gently pushes open the closet door and sees Barry stretched blissfully before slowly walking out. Barry looks up at the two of you as you remain silent. He then elegantly waves his tail from side to side. I remember someone specifically checked the closets. How did Barry get past them? You glance at the grey and purple clothes in the closet and at Barry's grey fur. Marius, say, aren't the color of your clothes and Barry's fur quite similar? Marius suddenly realizes the similarity between the two and begins to laugh helplessly. Barry, you really know where to hide, don't you? The Von Hagen estate. Marius, what are you looking at? Barry never listens to me, so I had Vincent buy this pet son communicator. Huh, you seem to be very curious about what Barry has on his mind. Well then, how do you plan on using it to communicate with Barry? The manual states that it can record what the pet says and translate it into our language. It also states it can translate what we say into something the pet can understand. It can perfectly bridge communication between pet owners and their pets. Wow, I wouldn't have thought something like this existed. Do you plan on doing what Barry wants if you can understand him now? Well, that depends on if Barry wants the right things. Why don't we give it a try? Sure, from now on, Barry won't be able to act all high and mighty in front of me. The Von Hagen estate. Barry has stayed at the Von Hagen estate for some time now, and you've come to understand his behaviors. For example, right now Barry circles you with his tail up a few times, then looks up at you with his round purple eyes. He's saying, please pet me. You quickly take the cue and hold Barry in your arms. You then run your hand through the silky fur on his back. Barry finds a comfortable position in your arms, closes his eyes, and begins to purr. Marius sees you holding Barry and touches his tiny nose with his finger.
발짜졌네.
Marius, do you want pet Barry? You attempt to place Barry in Marius' arms. However, you don't expect Barry to have such an immediate negative reaction at the sight of Marius. Marius is dumbfounded by Barry's reaction. You quickly take Barry back into your arms and try to calm him down. Oh, Barry, it's okay. It's okay. No need to be angry. Marius waves his finger at Barry and speaks with a mildly threatening tone.
오케이. 간이 배 밖으로 나왔구나. 내가 어떻게 혼쭐을 내는지 두고 봐. 고양이 캔에 안 넘어가는 고양이는 없다고.
Marius confidently takes out a can of cat treats from the drawer and fills Barry's bowl with it.
봐봐. 이게 뭘까?
You place Barry on the ground and he quickly follows the scent of the treats, walking over to Marius. Marius smiles with satisfaction after Barry walks up to him and sniffs the cat treats.
그럴 줄 알았.
However, before Marius can finish his words, Barry turns around and leaves decisively, seemingly with no interest in the treats. Looks like Barry is a delicate little kitty.
포도, 너 딱 기다려.
For some reason, the situation seems to have ignited Marius' determination. He quickly stands up and walks toward the kitchen. Shortly after, you notice Marius ordering Mr. Wei into the kitchen. What is Marius planning on to do? Soon, Marius returns from the kitchen with a plate in his hands. His face is filled with confidence as he places the bowl filled with small chunks of meat in front of Barry.
무려 프라임 등급의 수입산 소고기예요. 아저씨는 신선하고 부드러운 육질과 촉촉한 육즙을 잃지 않으면서도 본연의 맛을 살렸어요. 물론 제일 중요한 건 내가 아저씨를 거들었다는 사실이죠.
Barry gently sniffs the meat a few times and dives right in before Marius can finish speaking. Barry is obviously very satisfied with the food. Marius then attempts to pat Barry on the back. This time, Barry doesn't resist. Barry purrs in satisfaction as he munches down on the meat. He even occasionally gestures back at Marius as he pets them. Barry's behavior is completely different from before.
소고기의 유혹은 역시 거절 못할 줄 알았어.
That's not just beef, that's prime beef. Barry quickly finishes the entire plate and begins to suckle Marius. Marius appears to be very satisfied with himself as he picks Barry up in his arms. He intimately scratches Barry's chin and Barry responds by closing his eyes in enjoyment. You fall deep into thought as you look at the two in front of you. Somehow, it feels like Marius and Barry are very similar in a way. The Von Hagen estate. Barry, look, what's this? Marius is holding a can of dried treats in his hand. He waves the can at Barry. You want some dried treats? Here, give me your paw. Let's shake hands. Barry completely ignores Marius' open hand and stares at the dried treats. If you're not going to do it my way, then... Marius pretends he's going to put away and hide the treats. Barry gets frantic. Barry raises one of his front paws and reaches up in the air. It's as if Barry's trying to shake Marius' hand. Oh, Barry, you want to shake my hand that badly? Well then, I guess I have no choice but to shake hands with you. Marius squats down with a smile on his face and shakes his hand with Barry. Barry finally gets the dried treats he wanted. Marius, seems like you and Barry are getting along really well. Barry finishes the dried treats and licks the fur around his mouth. He meows in response. However, the meow is much softer than usual. I knew Barry liked me all along. The Von Hagen estate. You and Mary stumble upon a cat cafe and go in for a cup of coffee to satisfy your curiosity. It's late when the two of you return to the Von Hagen estate. Barry, what's wrong? The moment Barry sees the two of you, his fur stands on end and he stares at the two of you with hostility. Barry, we didn't do anything to upset you lately, did we? Barry's anger doesn't seem to be diminishing. You can even see him frowning. Alright, Barry, let's calm down a bit, okay? Marius squats down and reaches out his hand to pat Barry in an attempt to calm him down. However, Barry appears to wrinkle his nose, instantly avoiding Marius' hand. Seeing Barry's tiny nose twitching, you suddenly realize something. Marius, could it be that Barry smells the scents of the other cats on us? I didn't think that a cat like Barry would be so possessive. Huh, fine, I suppose I can make some compromise. You and Marius change into the clothes you wear at home and wash your hands carefully. The two of you make sure the smell of other cats is no longer lingering on you and attempt to approach Barry again. This time, Barry no longer avoids your touch and even rubs his hand on your hands. Barry really dislikes the smell of other cats. Could it be because he treats the Von Hagen estate as his home? Maybe that's only part of it. Maybe he even wants us to become his servants. Huh, well, I suppose that's also a sign that Barry is getting closer to us. The art room. There hasn't been any progress in locating the Barry's owner. However, Marius and Barry are slowly getting acquainted. You understand that being clingy is a way for the cats to express affection for their owner, but how Barry and Marius getting along is a little strange. Barry seems to enjoy drawing Marius' attention in peculiar ways. While Marius isn't paying attention, Barry jumps onto his workstation and knocks his brushes onto the ground, splashing paint onto the once clean floor.
포도,
Caught in act, Barry quickly jumps down from the scene of the crime and lands on the paint. And so, the floor is now decorated with a line of cat paw prints. Today, Marius came to the studio to look up some old painting files. Since you had the time, you tag along. After departing from the Von Hagen estate, the two of you discovered that Barry somehow snuck into the car and was snoozing away under the seat. Marius had no choice but to bring Barry along to the studio. And in the end, this is what happened.
포도, 그대로 있어?
I think it's already on his paws. Marius holds Barry in his arms as you clean the paint off his paws. However, before you can get all the paint off, Barry begins to struggle and thrash around in Marius' arms. The paint is now on his clothes. Barry clings to you but enjoys causing trouble. Marius, I can't tell if he likes you or hates you.
이 녀석이 무슨 생각인지 내가 어떻게 알겠어요.
However, Marius doesn't mind the paw prints on his shirt. After you finish cleaning Barry's paws, Marius grabs his front paws and begins to negotiate with him.
포도, 얘기 좀 해. 일 좀 끝낼 수 있게 잠시만 조용히 있자. 응?
That was a cool reply. It doesn't really seem to like your proposal.
아무튼 그렇게 해.
Marius puts Barry back down and grabs a piece of painting cloth from his workstation. He ties it onto a brush and makes a simple cat toy.
어때? 마음에 들어? 네가 좋아하는 장난감이잖아. 잠깐 놀아줄 테니까 다 놀고 얌전히 있어. 알았지?
Barry stares at the cat toy with big purple eyes. He doesn't seem to have heard what Marius said. Seems like Barry really likes the teaser.
그렇게 쉽게 넘어오진 않을 거예요.
Marius attempts to swing the cat stick in front of Barry, the cloth waving around in the air. However, Barry, who was curious a second ago, suddenly loses all interest and turns around, his butt facing Marius. Maybe Barry doesn't want to play right now? Maybe he wants to rest? Marius put down the cat teaser after hearing what you said. He then crouches down and runs his finger down the back of Barry's ear.
좋아, 포도. 이 상태를 유지하는 거야? 최대한 오랫동안.
You try your hardest to stop yourself from laughing. Marius returns to his workstation and begins to look through the old painting materials. The room is now quiet. You and Marius turn your heads to see Barry approaching again. He still is up high as he circles Marius. You finally understand Barry. As soon as Marius isn't looking at him, he will definitely do something to draw your and Marius' attention. Marius, I don't think Barry likes it when your attention is elsewhere. Marius picks Barry up helplessly and stares into his eyes. The quartz clock in the room ticks away, and the materials flutter quietly in the wind. At this moment, it seems like even the air in the room has become still, waiting for the silent stare down to end.
포도 진짜 까다로운 고양이네. 알겠어. 자료 안 보고 너만 볼게. 됐지?
Marius then turns towards you.
누나, 방법을 찾은 것 같아요.
The sun is shining into the studio and onto Marius' side, softening his eyes and brows. His fair and charming face is basking in the sunlight. You hold onto Barry and sit directly across from him. He looks at you from time to time before painting on the canvas. Occasionally, your eyes meet and the two of you chuckle in unison.
내 추측이 맞았어요. 포도는 누나 품에 안겨있을 때 제일 얌전해요.
Well, you better do a good job of drawing him. He's putting in a lot of efforts to behave this well.
내가 애도 아니고 고양이랑 똑같이 굴 필요는 없죠.
That's not what you said just a few days ago. The sunlight isn't too harsh this time of day. It's warm and comfortable. Barry purrs in your arms, sound asleep. It seems like it's been a long time since you've enjoyed such a relaxing afternoon. A leisurely afternoon where you do things together with a cat and your loved one. Maybe this is what happiness means. The Von Hagen Estate. The Von Hagen Estate staff are making preparations to clean up as Barry drifts into a nap on the floor in the distance. The sound of the vacuum cleaner suddenly sounds. Barry, who was nearly asleep, is startled and jumps into the air. With his foot standing on the end, Barry runs at full speed after hitting the ground. However, I'm sorry, Barry, I'm not laughing at you on purpose. As the floor is slippery, Barry runs in place frantically when he tries to make a turn. The hilarious panic look on his face is just too funny. It doesn't take long before Barry regains his composure. He dashes forward, jumps onto the couch, and hides behind you. Well, at least you didn't fall and hit yourself. Marius holds back his laughter and tells the staff to shut off the vacuum cleaner. The terrifying sound comes to a halt. After waiting a while, Barry slowly makes his way toward the vacuum cleaner and cautiously taps it with his paw. The vacuum cleaner does not respond. Barry gains sudden confidence and begins to swing his paw at the vacuum cleaner in a rage. You can feel how hard Barry is hitting the vacuum by the loud sound it makes. Unable to hold your laughter, you and Marius roll and laugh on the couch. The Von Hagen estate. Marius, look, did Barry do this? You show Marius the scratch marks on the leather sofa. Looks like Barry needs to trim his claws. Okay, I'll go get Barry. We'll give him a proper trim. You hold Barry in your arms as Marius takes out the cat nail clippers. The two of you are ready. Marius waves the nail clippers in front of Barry and looks into his eyes for a few seconds before worryingly asking a question. Barry, you're not going to get angry and scratch me, are you? I think Barry's telling you that he promises he won't. Marius gently holds Barry's paw with his slender fingers and carefully clips the sharp nail. Barry sits in your arms without any signs of struggle. He even faintly purrs as Marius caresses his paws. Barry is such a good cat. Seems like he fully trusts us now. The Von Hagen estate. Today, Mr. Wei told you that there has been some progress in locating Barry's owner. As you and Marius learns of this after returning to the Von Hagen estate, the two of you fall silent. It's all started 15 minutes ago.
아저씨, 그러니까 포도는 주인이 없다는 말씀이세요?
네, 작은 도련님. 조사해보니 단지 주민 중에 포도의 주인은 없었습니다.
포도가 다른 곳에서 우리 단지로 들어왔다는 건가요?
그 추측을 뒷받침할 증거는 아직 없습니다만 포도가 저희 단지에서 오랫동안 지낸 건 사실이라고 하네요. 포도를 아는 사람이 있어서 들어보니 텀을 두고 마음에 드는 저택에 들어간다고 합니다. 한동안 지내다가 훌쩍 떠난다더군요. 먹이를 주던 분도 포도가 집에 돌아간 줄 알고 크게 신경 쓰지 않았고요.
Marius seems to have finally found his voice and looks straight, Barry in shock.
포도가 길냥이였어요. 게다가 보살피는 사람도 있고 꽤 잘 지냈다는 거죠?
Mr. Wei nods.
포도의 상황을 듣고 그중 몇몇 분들이 정식으로 입양할 의사를 표하셨어요.
Although Barry is a stray, there are actually many people who are willing to become his owner. Barry begins to wave his tail with insatisfaction. You're not sure if he understood your conversation. With the situation at hand, it seems like you won't be able to find out who's Barry's owner for the time being. Although Barry is enjoying the Von Hagen estate right now, things may be different when Marius Pharaoh Hound returns. It would be irresponsible if Marius was to adopt Barry before knowing how the two get along. Oh, Barry, we never knew you were a kitty with such a complicated background.
포도 주인은 다른 사람들이랑 상의하고 정해야 할 것 같아요.
Barry wanders unconcernedly past the two of you as if this has nothing to do with him. His long, thin nail points high, and his furry bum sways as he strides. You suddenly realize you forgot something very important. Barry is a stray and doesn't have an owner. Doesn't that mean he should have been neutered a long time ago?
포도가 저택에 처음 왔을 때 검진을 받았고 나이나 신체 조건이 중성화 수술하기에 적합했지요.
But we thought that Barry had an owner, so... The attention of three humans in the living room is suddenly all focused on Barry. He notices the shift in the room and turns around to look at the three of you.
포도. 중성화.
Marius mumbles the two words under his breath as he gazes peculiarly at Barry. Marius smirks. Marius' gaze has met the fur on Barry's back stand up. Barry looks at him warily and quickly runs away. Barry's on the run!
기다려, 포도!
You and Marius dive toward Barry at the same time, but neither of you manage to catch him.
작은 도련님, 도와드릴까요?
괜찮아요. 가서 볼일 보세요. 이번에는 꼭 제 손으로 잡아야겠어요.
Marius rolls up his sleeves and seems to be preparing for a good fight. You look at Marius' exposed skin and grab his hand to roll his sleeves back down. It's true that Barry's claws have been trimmed, but they are still very sharp. Be careful, after all. To Barry, this is a battle of dignity. Marius listens, raising his arms and watching as you roll his sleeves down.
역시 누난 생각이 깊다니까요. 걱정 마요. 이번에야말로 포도가 내 손바닥을 벗어날 순 없을 거예요.
The Von Hagen Estate. Today, as you and Marius return to the Von Hagen Estate, you discover Barry sitting quietly at the door. Seeing the two of you return, he meows and walks in circles around you while rubbing against your leg. I think this is the first time Barry has ever waited at the door for us to come home. Now that I think about it, Barry has become much more clingy lately. Yeah, I noticed that too. Barry's been following you everywhere you go lately. He's completely different from the first time he was here. Does this mean that Barry is beginning to rely on you? Upon hearing what you said, Marius picks Barry up and questions him with his head tilted. Barry, would you agree with what she just said? Barry doesn't ignore Marius as he did before. Instead, he looks up and begins to lick his face. Seems like Barry is admitting that he really likes you. Your residence. It's been a week since Barry was neutered. Today is the day you can finally remove the Elizabethan collar. Barry's new owner has also been settled during this time. After Marius learned about Barry's situation, he put together a detailed adoption plan for Barry. Although Marius always seems to have something against Barry, he's also the one that puts in the most effort in taking care of him. I just can't understand why Marius always acts so strange when he's dealing with Barry. However, at the end of the day, it's because of him that everything has been successfully sorted. Now that Barry's new owner has been decided, we can send him to his new home today. The thought of never seeing Barry again churns your heart bitterly. The Von Hagen estate. You arrive at the Von Hagen estate and Mr. Wei informs you that Marius hasn't woken up yet. You walk directly to the bedroom on the second floor as you did last time. I wonder if Marius got in a fight with Barry again. I really hope it's not a disaster behind the bedroom door. You gently push open the bedroom door as you continue to worry about Marius. But what you see is the complete opposite of your worries. A man and a cat are sleeping comfortably on the bed. This was how Barry behaved on his first day at the Von Hagen estate. The two are rarely ever so quiet when they're awake, but now they're sleeping comfortably and quietly next to one another. It seems like Marius is already comfortable having Barry by his side. The breeze moves the curtains and cool air flows into the room. Barry's fur sway in the wind as if a hand is stroking him. Barry seems to have felt the breeze. He rubs his face on his fish toy and stretches out before burying himself even deeper into the sheets. Haha, I never knew that fish toy had that expression on his face. The fish toy has a teardrop at the edge of its eye, much like Marius when Barry pushes his limits every day. Seeing how Barry is holding on tightly to the doll, you suddenly understand their way of coexisting. The man and the cat are perfect for each other. I bet deep down Barry actually likes Marius. As you are warmed by the view in front of you, Barry suddenly jolts awake as if something happened in his dreams. He tosses away the toy in his paws and jumps into the air before landing heavily on Marius. Barry glares at Marius after hearing his pain scream. He then jumps off the bed and escapes through the door crack.
Ah,
Marius was shocked by the sudden commotion and is now wide awake. He places his hands on his waist and slowly sits up.
진짜 인정사정 없네.
Does it hurt? Let me take a look. Did he scratch you? You walk up to Marius and lift his shirt to find two shallow scratches etched on his smooth skin at the end of his slender body. Wow, the scratch mark was through the blanket. How hard did Barry jump on Marius? Marius purposely moans in pain, but it does look like it hurts a lot. Let me get some ointment for that. You quickly grab the disinfectant from the nightstand and gently apply it on the slightly swollen marks.
누나가 걱정해주니까 다 나은 것 같은데요?
I knew he was up to something, yet I still fell for it. You stand up and help Marius out of bed. If it doesn't hurt anymore, then hurry and get up. We still have to take Barry to his new owner later. Marius holds onto your hand as he finds his balance. He smiles at you after hearing what you say.
서두르지 마요. 보여주고 싶은 게 있거든요.
What is it? Marius grabs your hand and leads you out of the bedroom. Walking down the stairs with Marius, you notice the picture frame in the middle of the living room. You must have missed it on your way up earlier. What's this?
잊었어요? 저번에 화실에서 누나랑 포도 초상화를 그렸잖아요. 주문한 액자가 어제 도착했거든요. 그래서 지금 같이 액자에 넣자고요.
Oh, right, I haven't seen the finished painting yet. Where is it now? You weren't expecting to see such a surprised look on Marius' face.
어제 분명... 포도야?
Marius walks over and stops in place helplessly. That is when you realize that the painting was placed right next to the picture frame. Barry must have knocked it over as he dashes downstairs earlier. The painting fell over and landed on a blind spot. That's why you couldn't see it from the stairs. The culprit is also sitting right on top of it without a sliver of guilt in his eyes.
커버를 덮어서 다행이지. 안 그랬다면 포도가 발톱으로 실력 발휘를 했을지도 모르겠네요.
You and Marius are now very skilled in dealing with situations like this. As the comforter, your job is to hold Barry in your arms while Marius unveils the painting to you for the first time. The girl in the painting is holding onto a grey kitten with purple eyes. Though it might be because of the lighting, the painting is simple yet captivating. You can feel the brimming happiness in the person in the painting just by looking at it. So you knew exactly what I had on my mind at the time. Marius sits down next to you and looks at the painting with you.
그리는 사람과 그려지는 모델이 같은 생각을 하고 있었으니까요.
Barry looks at the painting, then up at you as if he has noticed something. Marius leans over and gently pats Barry.
날 괴롭히기만 했는데 막상 보내려니까 어쩐지 아쉽네요.
Then let's hurry and frame the painting. It will be something to remember our time with Barry by. You and Marius place the painting inside the mahogany frame. With the addition of the picture frame, the preciousness and sentimental feeling of the painting magnifies. Barry watches quietly as the two of you frame the painting. It's as if Barry has understood something. Barry, you gotta stay happy and have fun at your new home, okay? We'll miss you. Marius picks Barry up and places him into the bag carrier. As Marius closes the carrier door, Barry staggers and tries hard to reach for Marius' hand. Marius, it looks like Barry wants to stay with you. Marius pokes Barry's furry forehead through the carrier.
못난 모습 보이지 말고 누나랑 종종 보러 갈게.
It's as if Barry understands what Marius said. He widens his round eyes and starts to act cute. It's like Barry saying, you guys have to come, okay? We'll definitely keep our promise and come visit you, Barry. Elizabethan collar. A cone is a device for pets that is worn around the neck. It is typically worn by cats, dogs, and other small animals after surgery to prevent them from scratching at the wounds. Prime level. Beef produced in specific regions is classified into the following grades: Prime, Choice, Select, Standard, Commercial, Utility, Cutter, and Canner. Prime refers to the highest grade of beef, accounting for about 2% of the total beef production, which is only sold in high-end restaurants.